5 years ago, we open to the outside of Horizon City Financial and Banking Services. A crowd has gathered. The front side of the establishment has been damaged, the wall and several windows broken. Amid the rubble lays a scrawny individual, haphazard patches of fur covering his face and hands, dressed in a dirty and torn lab coat. His goggles are shattered, revealing crazy, animalistic eyes. Standing over this individual is none other than Mr. Miracle. His simple, white clothing is particularly form-fitting in this panel, and he stands in an all-too-familiar hero's pose. His speech bubble is bold, large, and bright. "Looks like you bit off a little more than you could chew, Dr. Hyena." In the background of this panel, one character stands out among the crowd. Although slightly older, the child from the scene at Horizon City Central Park watches this display. But he doesn't share the enthusiasm of the crowd. The scene concludes with a close-up of Mr. Miracle's glistening, perfectly white, sparkling smile. 3 years ago, we open to a large crater in the center of one of Horizon City's downtown streets. Cars are backed up on either side, and onlookers gather to witness today's act of heroism. Andromeda stands at the crater's center. Her stature is one of power and resolve. Her sweat-laden, void black hair is a scattered mess around her shoulders. Her clenched fists are caked in dust and debris and drip with blood. At her feet lays the crumpled mess of a human-like alien dressed in now dented and broken armor. Andromeda's speech bubble is simple. "Your reign of terror ends today, Overlord Zeiss." And in the background, again, this child, now older, stands watching this event unfold. The crowd may be awestruck, but his expression is more so that of curiosity and concern. A small panel follows. From the crater, Overlord Zeiss reaches up towards Andromeda. An even smaller panel, Andromeda stomps her adversary. The scene concludes with a sickening, jagged sound effect. Crack! "1 year ago, we open to the rooftop of one of Horizon City's finest skyscrapers. Night is upon the city. However, this location is anything but dark. Portions of the roof are on fire. Several areas have been scorched from a recent skirmish. 2 law enforcement aircrafts circle the building. At the center of the roof kneels a man. From the neck down, he is outfitted with some sort of modern combat suit. A cracked helmet has been discarded at his side, and he is lit by both the remaining surging lights of his suits, as well as the spotlights from the nearby aircrafts. And crouching in front of him, as if to get to eye level, is an unmistakable holographic form of a person. Details of the form shift and waver, but the one level of consistency is the anthropomorphic feline head. Binary's speech bubble is wavy, the text laid over itself in both neon blue and red. "We know you, Marcus writes. Your crusade is lost, hopeless, but still you struggle. Perhaps you are insane. It matters none." The next panel, we pull away from the scene to find that it's being watched on a screen. Sitting at his computer is the same child, now fully a teenager, scribbling notes as the scene unfolds. As a faint scream can be heard coming through the live feed, smoke beginning to billow from the suit worn by Marcus Wright, the stream descends into fabricated static. The scene concludes as words fade in. We are watching. We are waiting. We are binary.
Three, two, one.
Synced.
Close enough.
Yay.
Sync initiated.
That was better that time.
Oh, well, I'm glad that I wasn't counting out of rhythm. Danielle, thank you.
Hey.
Hopping right back into it after that very pointless scene that didn't actually happen. We can now switch over back over to Sky Valor, who had decided to fly up to the 42nd floor, probably through the stairwell, because you can kind of head straight through the middle. I think more or less roughly at the same time. Actually, let me ask this question. Recharge and Seraph, who reaches the stairwell first? Recharge, because he got a head start, or Seraph, because, I don't know.
Same time?
Recharge.
Okay. I was going to let it be a tie, but yeah, I reached the top first.
I am not super fast. I'm just strong.
Sure. So, Recharge, you bolt to the stairwell and you start charging up it, much the same as before, huh? And you get up maybe a couple of floors, and then, Seraph, you hit the stairwell, and I'm assuming you're going to vault up the same way you did before.
It's 2 vaults at this point.
Let's do, Seraph, you hit the stairwell and you're about to vault your way up a couple of times. Recharge, you have a good head start. You're probably already almost up there. Sky Valor, you hit the stairwell and you begin flying up. And as soon as you get about 3 floors up, Seth, what does she see? Hop. What does she see when she gets about 3 floors up?
Well, Seraph still has pants on. Thank goodness.
Good.
And shoes even.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah. But otherwise, from the waist up, golden skin covered in a myriad of mismatched eyes, easily a dozen wings of different shapes and sizes, all feathered, sticking out from the body and shoulders at strange angles. And then just totally contradicting all of that weirdness, just like a mop of brown hair on top of some kid's head. And just sort of gets up to the stairwell, grabs onto the railing, the guardrail, and just launches himself straight up, wings flaring. Probably even beating a little bit. Not doing much, but it feels good.
Yeah. So, Sky Valor, that's what you see. He vaults up just before you hit his position, and I guess he doesn't notice you there because you're flying quietly. I don't know.
I have so many eyes. How do I not?
Do you have eyes that point down?
They're on my arms, so yeah.
Then I guess you do. I guess you totally see the renowned hero Sky Valor flying her way up the middle of the staircase. Danielle, just to reiterate, what does Seraph see flying up the middle of the stairwell?
Well, she is wearing her jumpsuit. It's dark blue with orange detailing, a big insignia of a V in a star insignia on her. She's got gloves and boots and small, I think it's gray mask over her eyes. And she has hair down to her shoulders. It's wavy. At the top, it's black and it fades into purple. Boots to her knees, basically. No cape. No cape.
Yeah, so Seraph, you looking downwards with your arm eyeballs, you see that flying her way up the middle of the stairwell.
You see, normal superhero.
Wow.
Damn, shots fired. Okay.
Jesus, that's how we're going to start.
Oof.
I'm just kidding.
Also, you hear the frantic running footsteps of Recharge.
Very fast. It's not like super speed fast, but I do have enhanced agility and stuff like that, so faster than most.
Wow. Huh.
So, guys, what happens?
Yeah.
You tell me.
Yeah, I'll probably look down and be like, "Oh, can I get a lift?"
I continue running. I have a race to win.
Wait, what's the deal with Seraph? Is he's slower than me? Is that why
He's literally throwing himself up flights of stairs.
I cannot fly.
I thought with his wings he was like flying a little.
That'd be nice.
More like leaping with style.
I don't know who you are or what you're doing, but
Oh, hi. You're famous. No need to introduce yourself. I'm Scott. I'm here to save the day. I think you're here to save the day. It's cool. I'm at the top floor now.
Oh, so like she's flying up and you vault up a couple of floors and you both reach the top and Recharge is just waiting for you guys?
Yeah, like it's 2 jumps for me. So
Yeah, it's not a lot. Okay.
So by the time he asks for a lift, we're both up there.
Yes.
Yes.
Like I imagine that the panel where he asks for a lift, he's in mid vault and you happen to be flying up at the exact same, like you guys are face to face at that point.
It's like,
but then the next panel you're at the top. So
before it could even answer.
yeah.
It's like a neon blur of like Recharge sliding like to the door first.
Yeah.
It's just a bubble that says I ... and then they're there.
Oh, next time then, I guess. Next time, I guess.
And during this awkward kerfuffle, I don't know what else to call it. Recharge, you skid to a stop up there, and these two basically quote unquote fly up, and there's an awkward exchange happening between them. At roughly the same time, it's at this point that the lot of you, but especially Recharge, will hear the back and forth that Tate and Todd are having in the escalator, which is just across the hall from where the stairwell opens onto, or leads out to. And I imagine it's this like point where like Recharge, you come skidding to a halt and you're facing the stairwell and you see these two pop up and you're like, huh, Sky Valor, she's here, cool. And then behind you, Tate and Todd are exiting the escalator, and it takes a moment for both teams to realize that the other team is there. But the ball is now in your court. Everyone, this is going to be a clusterfuck. Please tell me how this plays out.
All right. So, like I said, I skidded to the top of the landing and then stood there waiting for these two arms crossed. And then I hear the like commotion behind me and just like slowly turn a little bit, arms still crossed, like investigating that. And then from behind me comes Sky Valor in a giant angel thing. And I'm standing there looking at the two coming up the escalator, arms crossed, very confident.
Yeah, no, I'll land and stride out of the stairwell and just, hey, Recharge. It's Sky Valor. How cool's that?
Meanwhile, I just keep running and maybe even flying a little bit. And I just want to book it to the door and just like stand in front of it. Like nobody goes in here.
And there she goes.
What? When did she?
Yeah, and in that panel, it's just like there's air lines because she whooshed away. There's a nice whooshing sound effect. She's gone down the hall. For Tate and Todd, I think Todd was leading the charge, having been thoroughly pissed off by Tate's weird and antagonistic actions.
Yeah, Tate is he's hanging back. He was just letting Todd kind of go ahead because he's not sure he wants to go into the office anymore.
Yeah, that's super fair. Todd, you reach the top, and like I said, it might even take a moment or two to register that, oh, there's other... Actually, probably not with the way Seraph looks. You probably notice it immediately. You probably go to, like, storm off and then see this play out in front of you.
What the fuck is that?
Hey, rude.
Don't be like that.
Todd just starts squaring up. Are you one of those manimals?
Oh, I was about to ask you the same thing. So no. You? Are you one of those? Probably. No, you're not. I'm not an idiot.
No, they took my friend. I'm here to get him back.
Oh, I think he's in there. I point at the door being guarded by Sky Valor.
It's at this point that Tate, the escalator, has carried you to the 42nd floor behind Todd. You weren't that far behind him. He kind of stormed off ahead of you. And once you get deposited onto the 42nd floor, like, you hear this exchange going on. I don't know if you're of the mind to, like, leave because of this, or if you're kind of still dumbstruck and you just, like, let the escalator deposit you here.
Totally just letting the escalator deposit me to the top, because I don't want to get in the way. I don't want to cause any more problems, but I want to be around just in case something happens.
Cool. So here's what happens when Tate Temple gets deposited on the 42nd floor at this landing where teams have converged, minus Sky Valor, who've rushed off ahead to preserve the only rule involved in this conflict. Tate, you get deposited here, and what you immediately feel is you feel a pressure, a weight in the air that feels like it makes your body heavier, like it's trying to pull out vitality from you, trying to weaken you. You see this exchange going between Todd and two individuals you don't really recognize, one of which is Seth's character, Seraph. Watching him, once you see him and this, you immediately get flashes back to what you recently experienced with the angel. You feel like you're being watched. You feel this presence, and you can't shake the voice that says, I will purge all sinners.
Does it feel like the weight is coming from his character?
In a lot of ways, yes. His presence seems to have a weight on you. Reversing the panel to focus on Seraph. Seraph, you're having this exchange, this kind of awkward exchange with Todd and Recharge, and you're still trying to talk about Sky Valor even though she's not there. And then this new face gets thrown by an escalator onto the landing, and you see him. He looks like... Alan, give me another description of your character to make sure we're all on the same page here.
Sure, he's a little over, maybe 5'3", Middle Eastern looking, olive skin, gray eyes, messy black hair. He's wearing a blue-gray hoodie and the fancy future jeans that rip where you want them to.
I love the future jeans. Perfect. Seraph, you see this individual come up, a regular person by all accounts. However, there's this presence about him, something that calls to something deep within you that says, this guy is bad news. This guy is evil.
Can I reflexively activate my, sin sight that I have?
I think you can absolutely do that. You try to study him. We'll get to that in a second. I just kind of want to get Tate's response to the situation, and we'll see how they kind of play off each other.
I mean, I definitely see him, eyes widen, oh my god, is that the same angel? This is going to be bad. And everything feels awful. But I look at him, and it's clearly not the same thing. And I don't know what to do, so I'm just gonna kind of sit against the wall and breathe.
Oh, you actually take a step to the side and just sit down to collect yourself.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He doesn't want to have another situation where he thinks he's doing something to save his friend and ends up, choking him and throwing him down an escalator.
Yeah, that's 100% fair. I like that. And I think that's super in character considering everything that just happened. So in that case, we only have one thing to resolve. Seth, can you roll me a Pierce the Mask, 2d6 plus mundane?
Sure can. That's a 10 minus 1 is 9.
You get one question from Pierce the Mask. I mean, if you have something a little bit more specific, you can build off one of the questions too, because I know they're probably not 100%.
Is he evil? Is his heart laden with sin?
The answer is unfortunately not as cut and dry as you would want it to be. Yes and no. But I think as you focus in on him with your angel sight, what you see is you do see sin, you see darkness, you see what you would call evil in him, in his depths. But you also see it fluctuating with something better, something good, something, I don't want to say pure, but almost pure. And this isn't just like, oh yeah, Joe Schmo on the street, sure, he has some sin and he has some purity. This is a dynamic balance that seems to be in flux as you watch him. And as you watch him, he steps aside and sits down, and like his hands are on his head and he seems to be going through some shit. But that's what you get from him.
I'm going to go a little angel mode on this one. Point at him and just say, hey, come here. You're at a crossroads. It's really important that you do a good thing right now.
Pause. Sky Valor, Todd, and Recharge. Now that something has actually happened, what are you guys doing?
You're that hero Recharge, right? Robbie was telling me about you. Come with me. He's in trouble.
Well, I don't know who that is, but I will follow you.
And start heading down the hallway towards the sky.
So, Todd, you completely ignore the weird angel situation with the dude who threw you down an escalator.
Absolutely. Fuck him. I'm mad at him right now.
That's amazing.
Okay, so I assume he starts running down the hallway towards Sky.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna turn around to Scott and say,
Seraph, are you okay here?
Yeah, let me just get this guy. We'll be right with you.
Okay, thank God. This seems deep. Okay.
And Recharge, you chase after Todd?
yeah, I'll run after.
Cool. Sky Valor, you're at the end of the hall, standing in front of the door.
Yep, I'm guarding the door, but also looking down the hall because, I mean, I probably could hear what they were saying, and I'm like, well, that's something.
It definitely echoes. You definitely pick up everything that was said. And are you standing in front of the door with, like, your arms stretched out, like, actually blocking it?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I'm like, nobody's going in here.
Cool. I think since you're in front of this door for at least a little bit, you do hear murmurings from within the mayor's office.
I was trying to figure out if there was something, like, equal to perception.
Are you just trying to listen to figure out what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you, like, press against the door, like your ear against the door, but still blocking it with your arms.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah. You can hear, it sounds like a male voice, maybe not like a child or anything. Someone about your age, muttering something about not being able to find, you can't make out the rest. You hear tapping, maybe he's tapping on a desk or a keyboard. You hear someone else's voice say something along the lines of, how long are we going to be here? Someone a little bit younger than the first person. But that's kind of what you pick up on.
I say in my own thought bubble,
Yes.
I go, so the secretary said number one priority is to not go in there, but it doesn't seem like these are people that should be in here. So are they in on whatever this is?
What a conundrum.
Yeah, that's what she's thinking. She's like, so they said you can't go in here, but it doesn't seem like it's people that they would sanction to be in here normally. So something's fishy here.
Right, and as she's having this thought bubble, I think maybe she turns her head back down the hallway and she sees both Todd and someone in a Daft Punk helmet charging down the hallway at her.
Not quite Daft Punk.
Not quite. But before we resolve that mess of a situation, let's jump back to Seraph and Tate. Seraph having just asked Tate to come here.
So I'm probably going to respond to the second half of his message more. Like, he will give, like, this defeated little laugh of, like, I just tried to do good, and it all kind of backfired. So if you know what I can do that's good right now, I'm happy to hear it. He's sitting with his back to the wall, knees up, head down, and just his hands are on his head.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know exactly what you should do, but, come with me. Because, look, there's a lot of evil in you, man. And you gotta purge that out of you. And I think you should do that by doing good things. So, come with me. Let's go do a good thing.
You're real, right?
Yeah.
You're not another hallucination that's gonna end up killing me or hurting other people?
No, I'm real.
At this point, that's sort of a positive.
Also, if you're having hallucinations, did you skip your pills or something? Are you seeing anyone for that? My mom, she saw a guy a while back and really helped her out.
Is your mom also an angel? Because that's the hallucination that I'm pretty sure I just saw. It looked very like you, but a little bit more. I just sort of gesture. I'm like, angelic,
Man,
I guess.
No, dude, I'm not a shrink. Don't go telling me these things. Yeah, just I'll get you a recommendation or something. But come on, we gotta save the day.
Tate, as this conversation's going on, you feel this weight pulling from you harder, especially after everyone else moves on from the vicinity. And this person covered in eyeballs, as he talks to you, you hear, but in the pauses of his speech, just whispers that say,
"What are you doing?
Buying time.
What are you doing?
He's slowly sapping your strength. Trust him.
What are you doing?
Sapping your strength. Trust. He's buying time.
What are you doing?
And at this point, you're not sure if you could even stand up if you wanted to. What do you do?
Would you? I don't think I can stand up. Could you stop sucking away my energy, please?
That's not a thing I can do, but here. And I stick out my hand.
Don't take it.
What are you
Don't
doing?
touch him. Don't trust him.
What are you
Don't
doing?
touch him. Don't touch him. Don't touch him. Don't touch him.
I'm just gonna be like, in my head, just like you see, like, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. And just, I'm gonna reach out my hand, but I'm not looking at this point because I don't think I can raise my head.
That's fair. I'm just going to assume you're horrified of me and don't want to look at me, and I'm disgusting.
Sure, and you guys grab hands, and Seraph, you help him up.
Yep, give him a big old hoist up.
Cool. And Tate, like the seconds that are leading up to that moment, the whispers in your head, they escalate, and it sounds like you kind of try to fight them off.
I imagine that the panel actually looks like you see all of these bubbles appear that say, like, don't do this, like, and they're covering pretty much the entire panel around him. So you can't even see the background or Seth's character. And you just see the small one coming directly from him that's saying, shut up.
Okay, so I have an idea, and let's just do this in a weird way. Seth, can you roll 2d6 plus Savior for me?
Well, I can try. That's a 5.
Okay. I'll go ahead and mark potential, Seth, since you failed to roll.
Finally.
Yeah, you reach out and you grab Tate's hand, and Tate, the moment he grabs your hands, it burns, and he helps hoist you up. Tate, I would like you to mark down a condition for me, of your choice. At this point, I think you already have guilty marked down.
I'm leaning either towards hopeless or insecure. Both of them for similar reasons. I'm just trying to decide what fits better. Because I again want to be a hero, but like I just was put in a situation where I was definitely saving my friend, and then I threw him downstairs, and now I don't know what's real anymore, and I'm hearing these voices. So
If you want my inputs, I think along with Discord chat,
Everybody else, hopeless.
Yeah,
I think hopeless is fair.
And to really hammer that home, this guy covered in eyeballs with weird wings, he helps you stand up, and his touch burns. And these voices, they don't quiet when you command them to; they get louder. And once you touch his hand, they go all in.
You'll never be a hero.
Nothing can.
No wonder your mother can't look at you. You'll never fail, you idiots. You'll never. No wonder your mother failed your child. You idiots. Nothing. No wonder your mother can't look at you. Failure. You'll never fail to be a hero.
And it's only after you're on your feet for a little bit that they slowly and painfully begin to quiet. That weight lessens, but it never fully dissipates. Yes, you can still feel it in the air around this weird eyeball dude.
Yeah. We're gonna walk like I am injured in, like, the worst way. Because I imagine, again, like, before it was tons of little speech bubbles, but as you were saying, like, if it's growing bigger, I want the speech bubble to just increase in size. So, like, that is the panel, and it's just my character sort of silhouetted against it.
Right, and the speech bubble is just full of a whole bunch of little sentences and words and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I like that. Visually, I really like that. And from the sounds of it, Tate and Seraph begin slowly following the rest of them.
Hobbling down the hallway.
Miss Sky Valor. Yeah, so you've heard all that. You've turned your attention. Todd and Recharge are approaching. Todd and Recharge, you are going to the mayor's office. The weird thing about this is that Sky Valor, the hero, seems to be blocking it off.
Recharge is probably going to do the same thing, like slide up and just be like,
All right, break down the door.
No.
Open the door?
Get out of my way.
Hell
Also,
no.
what the hell are you doing up here? You were supposed to stay with the Manimals.
There's people in danger in there. Oh, did you not know that? Sorry, Sky Valor, you're obviously well known. There are people in danger in there. This man's friend is in danger in there. And there's a bad guy.
I was told specifically by the secretary that this room is off limits, and this is like the only rule.
Well, good for
Off
you.
Off limits to who? Everybody?
To me, and probably everybody.
If there are people in there, should we get them out because they're breaking that rule?
I don't know why it was established, but we're not supposed to be in there.
What if we open the door to coax them out, to get them out so people aren't breaking that rule anymore?
Well, they said don't go in there.
And somebody's in danger. I should stress that.
I guess we could open the door.
A child is in danger.
We just can't go in there.
Open the door.
I'll step away, but I'll say, you can't go in there. And I'll point at them.
Todd's gonna go up to the door and open it and go inside.
Todd, you open the door. The door is locked.
Oh.
Yeah, get fucked. And as you, like, jimmy the handle and realize that it's locked, you hear a brief muttering from the other side of the door. And I think it's at this point that Seraph and Tate can hobble their way over. And for the first time, this entire issue, this entire volume, this entire series, the first time we get a panel with everyone in it. And I think because this is such a big thing, you know, a single panel of all of you standing in front of the door to the mayor's office, can we describe how everyone looks in this panel? Todd just having, like, jimmied the handle and realized that it's locked. I think I want to start with Todd.
Looking at him, he's a little bit bruised, maybe a little bit of blue, blackish blue blooming underneath his eye from falling down, being thrown down the escalator. His hair a little disheveled. It's relatively straight usually, but there's like strands hanging out everywhere after his tumble. Maybe a new rip in his really old worn jeans. He's got his just a plain black shirt on. But otherwise he's just looking pissed, and he's just turning towards Sky.
Sure. Is there any speech or thought bubble coming out of him in this particular panel?
Yeah. It's locked. Break it down.
Awesome. Then I think since he said he was turning to Sky in that panel, then Danielle, can you describe me how Sky Valor looks in this panel?
Pretty much the same as she normally does. I imagine that she, beforehand, after she snapped out of her drunken state, she probably propped up her collar a little bit, so she's probably looking a little bit more hero-like and a little bit less off than she did before. And she's, kind of snapped out of it back to her normal state, and she's just curious yet confused at why there are people in there when they said not to go in there, and they're in there but the door's locked. So she's just standing there very confused looking, like, huh.
That's fair. Any speech or thought bubble from her?
Huh.
Nice. Is that a speech and thought bubble? Weird.
It's both.
Definitely speech.
I think then I would like to shift to Recharge and see what he's doing in this particular panel, how he looks.
I guess then when Todd jiggles the door handle, Recharge is sitting there, arms crossed, hand on his chin, and like he's thinking. So he's just looking pretty pensive.
Any speech or thought bubble?
Todd said, break it down, right?
Yeah.
Then there's a speech bubble, or a thought bubble of him thinking, yeah, I'm just gonna kick it.
Yes. Cool. Walking up at this point, Tate and Seraph. How are the two of you looking? What's going on with your characters? Whoever wants to go first can.
I don't even know if Tate's eyes are open. I think he's been basically helped this way by Seraph. And so he's stumbling forward and his face just looks like he is suffering. And you still see little thought bubbles. So I want to say he has one thought bubble. Did he say that maybe I'm not a destroyer? But inside of his thought bubbles are just a ton of the other ones still.
Yes. Confused thoughts that are playing off of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thought bubbles and thought bubbles is pretty dope.
Whoa. Okay, Seth. Seraph?
Yeah, so honestly, just sounds like holding up Tate is most of what he's doing. Probably half the eyes on his body looking at Tate, the other half looking at the rest of the group. And I'd like to think the expression on his face is one of kind of exasperation. Just sort of I can't believe I'm doing this right now. And as he's thinking to himself, shouldn't they have saved a kid by now?
Woof.
The hero told us it was against the rules, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, don't worry.
There was one rule.
Yeah, don't save the kid. Wow, it's such a weird rule.
Fuck your rules.
And I guess he probably has an out loud speech bubble while he's at it, which is just, while still looking at the group, just saying, hey, I know I said you should save the day right now, but are you okay?
To the group?
Nah, to Tate.
Yeah, before I say anything, Tate, any response?
Nope, is the answer.
Awesome. Perfect. Awesome. Even better. So I will say that I think that particular panel, what we just described, does a really good job at kind of capturing everyone's playbook. I feel like everything's on theme, and that's really good, and really good on all of you. I like it quite a bit. But the question I have to ask now is my favorite question. What happens?
Foot meets door.
Yeah. Recharge boots in the door.
The way I see it is Todd turns to tell Sky to to break down the door, and Seraph's checking on Tate, asking if he's okay. And the panel after Todd saying, Recharge saying, I should just kick it in. He just kicks it in.
I will say, for the benefit of Sky Valor, there's technically things you can do. If you want to try to stop him, we can work that out. But it's also perfectly okay to say that Sky Valor wants to try to stop him, but she doesn't realize it's happening until it's too late.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, she was probably debating if she kicked it in, then, they didn't have to go in.
Sure. So, so the immediate next panel is Recharge booting in the door. The door splinters from the lock. I'm sure Recharge is strong enough to boot in the door, and having you guys roll to unlock a door sounds like bullshit to me, so I'm not going to do it. You boot in the door, and what we see is the mayor's office. And
Whoa.
yeah, whoa. Like I kind of described in Tate's Dream Quest, there's a large, heavy mahogany table in the middle of the room. Has this nice, comfy-looking carpet, and straight across from the door, the entire wall is windows looking out over Horizon City. Even from where you guys are standing, you can see the skylines of Horizon City. There's some other things in here that weren't present in Tate's dream sequence, and these happen to be a lot of paraphernalia of the anime variety. Like there's posters of cat girls lining the walls. There's an arcade cabinet for a what are they, the Toho games in the corner of the room. Like, it's a lot of weeb shit. Like, it's an obscene amount of weeb stuff. And more importantly than the weeb stuff is there's a individual he's probably a junior in high school. He has kind of slick black hair. He's wearing a black trench coat of some sort. And he was, before the door was kicked open, huddled over a computer on the desk typing away. Obviously, he looks up when the door's open. Actually, no, I take that back. Todd tried to open the door before it was locked. So instead, he's not huddled over the computer. This individual in the black trench coat with the black slick hair is standing next to, I don't want to call him a kid, but he's kind of a kid. He's a freshman. He looks like he's about a freshman. To those who know him, particularly Todd and Recharge, it's Robbie Pepper. Not standing at his side necessarily, but standing kind of in front of him. And he has a hand on Robbie's shoulder. His other hand is free, and he's watching the door, waiting, expecting people to kick it in, as has just happened. Yeah, Recharge, you boot open the door, everyone sees all of this. And the person in there, his immediate reaction is this weird, forced smirk. Like it seems something that he actively tries to force upon himself to do. And he mutters out something that maybe only Recharge and Todd, the people at the front of the party, can hear. He just kind of mutters, "So it's true. Huh." And his eyes kind of widen at you, Recharge. But that's the field. That's where we're at. This is what's up. Any questions about the scenery? Anyone who wants to do something? What's the next? How does this progress?
Robbie, what the fuck? Get away from him.
Robbie, his eyes go wide, first at seeing Recharge kick in the door, his favorite superhero, and then seeing Todd kind of maybe even brush past Recharge just a little bit. Robbie begins to go to say something, but the dude standing behind him yanks on his shoulder a little bit, and he just says directly at you, Todd, "I don't think he's going anywhere."
There's probably a speech bubble from Recharge saying,
"Let the kid go."
Yeah. I'm going to call him Splice. Obviously, he's Splice. Yeah. He seems to match the description. I'm sure everyone's smart enough to piece that together. Splice shakes Robbie a little bit. "I don't think so." And he looks down at Robbie and says, "You wanted powers, right? Well, I think it's time I give them to you."
I'm going to say Tate, standing at the back, definitely opened his eyes at the sound of the door being kicked in.
That's fair.
And, like, full of trepidation, because he's totally expecting to see two dead bodies. And there's just relief until Splice says that. And then it's just like, oh no.
Yeah, that's fair. Anyone else? Let's hear from either Seraph or Sky Valor.
Well, honestly, I'm just kind of taking this in. I have no immediate response because this guy just said he's going to give a kid powers, and that sounds kind of cool. Like, let's not lie.
At the very end, Seraph's just like, "Hey, well, maybe this isn't so bad. Maybe this is okay." No, that's cool. Yeah, that's fine. Sky Valor, anything?
She's a little bit frozen in her tracks because she was told not to go in there. So she's not supposed to go in there. Even if this guy is with that group, she's hesitant to start anything just yet. She's just kind of watching and kind of like weighing the number one rule versus what she should do to stop one of them, one of that group. So she's just kind of thinking and standing there.
Yeah, that's cool. So she's also just kind of taking it in. So we swing back around to Splice, who's holding on to Robbie Pepper, and Splice addresses Todd and Recharge since they're at the front. And again, he's holding this obviously forced like smirk, maybe a forced degree of confidence even. And he says, "If this is how it has to be, then so be it. Just remember that I'm the reason you're here today." And he pulls Robbie into him and begins, oh my God, I was almost going to say begins touching him, but that's not.
Yes. Oh, begin the slash fic. Let's go.
He puts the palm of his left hand on top of Robbie's head, and those in front, Todd and Recharge, can hear. It's almost like a sizzling or surging sounds, like a high frequency static of some sort. What do either one of you want to do?
So I assume Todd is going to rush in recklessly. So I'm going to pierce the mask. I'll let Todd do whatever he has to do right now.
Sure. So Recharge stays his ground and just studies this dude for a second. In that case, before we just assume what Todd's going to do, Todd, Alex, tell me what's up.
I'm going to be directly engaging the threat by using my teleportation to try and snatch Robbie from him.
Yeah, let's do that first, and then we'll follow that up with a Pierce the Mask from Recharge. Todd, give me that directly engage your threats.
Directly engaging the threat, Chris. And that is a 7.
You can pick one from the list.
I'm going to take Robbie and take whatever blows he hits me with.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it. Describe to me how this plays out, and then I'll stop you at some point.
I'm imagining just in that second after he pulls Robbie in, that's when Todd takes his breath. He just runs over, and as he has to blink back into the other world to grab Robbie, that's when it happens.
Yeah. Okay. So you poured in, you approach Splice, and you get your hands on like Robbie's arm, and you're about to yank him away. And just as a reaction, Splice takes his hand from the top of Robbie's head and reaches out, and his fingers run along Todd's neck. And that's when, Todd, you teleport away with Robbie. You bring him back. You want to bring him back behind your party?
Yeah, probably back behind the lines a little bit.
Yeah, you bring him back behind the lines, and that's about just as far as you can go before you start gasping for breath. And no matter how hard you try to start breathing, it's incredibly difficult because air just isn't going through. Grasping at your neck, you feel slits. Splice has given you gills.
I love this guy.
Market condition, please.
Market condition, suffocating.
Like, I can't just kill you outright. The system doesn't work like that.
But hey, you just gained a new power. Just saying.
You can breathe in water. You just can't breathe in air.
I'm thinking maybe guilty for getting Robbie into this whole... Feeling like he got Robbie into this whole mess from telling him the stories about Tabitha and everything.
Oh, guilty because this is all, like, your fault, kind of.
Yeah.
Or you're placing it on yourself. Yeah, and, like, you can pull in a little bit of breath. Enough so that you don't just immediately drop dead. You can still kind of, like, do stuff. But it's tough. And you will constantly feel like you're suffocating. I have no idea how that will play out, but we'll find out. Recharge. You see all this go down. You see Todd pour it in, take Robbie away, and then you might even hear some hard gasping from behind you. But you study Splice's reaction. And why don't you give me that Pierce the Mask roll?
+2, 7, plus mundane. 3 is 10.
Congratulations. You get to ask 3 Pierce the Mask questions.
we'll start with, I guess, what are you really planning?
Watching Splice and how he reacts to the situation and just like studying the room to see maybe what he was in here, you get the impression that what he was planning, what he intended to do here was to find something on the computer, maybe something incriminating about the mayor. That's not just as far as it goes. It's not just some sort of vendetta against the mayor. That particular train of thought, there must be more to that. Like he's trying to maybe prove something or trying to disprove something. The intent isn't to destroy the mayor's reputation. The intent is to find something incriminating on the mayor to accomplish something. It's a means to some sort of unknown end.
Okay. And then I guess the next one, how can I gain influence over you?
That's a good question. I think you're getting the picture that to get influence over Splice, you would have to do something extremely uncharacteristic of a hero, something out of sorts, something that would set you apart from the traditional heroic role.
Okay. And can I get the last thing I want to ask? What do you intend to... Can I phrase it this way? What do you intend to do now that Robbie is out of his hands, now that his hostage is gone, his leverage is gone?
Sure, yeah. And just watching at him, you immediately get the impression that he's in this right now for a showdown with the heroes. He intends to go out fighting.
Okay.
Seth, I believe you asked if Seraph can go next, and I think that's fine.
Yeah, so Seraph will gently, not too gently, set Tate down against the wall and then just leap into this office, standing on top of this desk, throw his arms out wide and just say, "Everyone wait, please. You gave him gills. You can give people animal features?"
I think Splice's reaction is the exact same of mine, kind of bewilderment, followed by like a little bit of laughing to himself at just the display. And he's looking up at you. You're on the desk, and he says, "Okay." He definitely takes you in for a little bit, and that,
yeah. If he's stunned by the silence, or even just gives like a tiny nod.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think he like goes to speak, finds that he's not able to figure out the right words, but then just gives like a quizzical nod.
To which Seraph will just, jump down to his level and just say, "Can you give me human ones?"
I don't see why not. And humans are animals too, aren't they?
So you could fix me.
He looks you over quite a bit, and he says, "I have no idea what you are, but if you want to take them out for me, I'll see what I can do." And he gestures towards everyone else.
Then Seraph will turn around and just say, "Guys, I don't know any of you, but can we just walk away from this, please?" Oh, also, can you fix his gills? I think he's dying.
Yeah, we'll pause Seth's turn there, where he follows up by asking if there's, that Todd is dying. Tate, you've been kind of, as Seraph rushed into the room, you've been kind of set aside, and you see Todd just like on the ground, holding his throat, gasping for air. It looks like he has gills, from I guess what you can tell. And the kid that he saved, you don't know him, but Robbie's just like wide-eyed looking at him, trying to figure out what's going on. And if you're looking for water, I will say that there is a water fountain all the way down towards the escalator/stairs.
I'm going to grab him, and I'm going to do my best to grab him and take him towards the water fountain.
Yeah, and I think Robbie's going to help you out doing that.
Yeah.
And
I can make it up to him finally.
Right. So you pick up Todd, and Robbie grabs like the other shoulder. Todd, you're suffocating. I can't imagine you're resisting too much.
Oh, nope, just the normal amount of just trying to breathe.
Todd, as you're moving along, you hear from Robbie. He just kind of says, I didn't know we get like this. I just wanted to be someone special, Todd. I'm so sorry. Yeah, obviously you can't respond. But he says that along the way. You know, he's not in hysterics, but he's not doing great emotionally as you guys carry Todd over to a water fountain.
I am going to tell him that you don't need powers to be special.
He mutters something along the lines of, that's just what people with powers say to make people without powers feel special. But no, he doesn't say anything. He kind of just quiets up and focuses on slamming Todd's head into a water fountain.
I was actually going to break the water fountain, so it just poured continuously.
Yeah, that's fair. But while you guys are doing that, I think who we haven't heard from yet is Sky Valor. Sky, you've seen all of this go down. You've seen this play out. Do you have anything? People are in the room now, if that matters to you anymore.
I'll sigh, and I'll take a step in the room.
Okay, and then what? If you want to wait for Seraph, I can follow up with that.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that we're actually not stopping this, because I think I'll look like a real idiot if he's like, okay, everybody stop, and I just punch him.
So then I think, Seraph, you pointed out that, Todd's suffocating, and is there anything, Splice can do to, make that not happen? And Splice will say to you, Seraph, you know what? Yeah, I'll help your friend. But what you have to do for me is take her out. And he points to Sky Valor as she walks into the room.
I hope she laughed like that in character.
100%. That laugh is staying in.
Good. Yes, Scott will look at this, and he will stop to think about it. Certainly long enough for anyone else to react to him stopping to think about that offer.
Recharge is going to chime in and just say,
Scott, come on. He's hurting people, and he's here to steal something from the mayor to get dirt on him for God knows what. He's not gonna help you.
He's probably gonna lie. But we might have a better chance if we take him down and then force him.
With that, Scott will narrow his eyes at Sky Valor.
You can't see Recharge cocking an eyebrow, but the eyebrow is raised.
Hey, Sky can use force.
I'm aware, but Scott will narrow his eyes at Sky Valor and say, that's a really dark thing to say. Shouldn't you, a hero, be offering to take a punch to the face to save him? I say, pointing at the kid with gills.
Do you really think a punch to the face is gonna make this guy satisfied enough to help you guys? He wants me done. He wants me down. And this guy is just gonna go out there and cause more trouble. So he must be stopped.
I will look to this, to Splice, and say, would you like to prove her wrong by accepting me punching her in the face as all the payment you need?
He looks at her and then looks at you, Seraph, and he says, from where I stand, there's two sides to this equation, mine and hers. And what I need to see happen is her knocked out, and I need to get that emblem off her chest.
Seraph, you don't even know that he can reverse things.
Of course I can reverse things.
Then prove it on him.
And I'll point to Todd.
Who is down the hallway at this point.
Yeah, I'm pointing out the door to Todd.
Oh, yes, thanks for reminding me. From the sounds of it, I don't know how much longer your friend has. And then we hear bashing as someone's breaking a watering fountain from down the hall.
Seraph, what do you even want to change?
Oh, I always thought I wasn't quite tall enough. I could, brown hair, I'm not really big on. I want all the eyeballs and wings gone.
What are you talking about? You're fucking awesome.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. I don't even have wings.
Yeah, you beat up the guy downstairs, saved your friend. You're fucking awesome. I wish I was as tall as you are, and as intimidating as you are. I just have glowing lights.
I'll look at the guy. Splice, that is. You haven't said anything nice to me in a while. I'm going to sucker punch him. I want to directly engage this threat.
Yeah, he'll keep that smirk up, and he will say, spoken like a real hero. And then we'll pause before that escalates back into mechanics.
Punching this
mark?
guy straight in his buns.
And we jump back down the hall to Robbie, Todd, and Tate. Tate, you're breaking open a watering fountain?
Yep. Basically snapping off the thing so that it'll just pour water continuously.
Are you using your powers to get strong enough to do that?
Actually, I'm pretty sure you can just lift off the casing.
Oh, but this is the future, where it's all reinforced with super strong alloys and future stuff.
Awesome. In that case, yeah, I'm going to use my power to directly draw vitality out of the water fountain so that it just breaks.
Sure. Why don't you give me an Unleash Your Powers check, 2d6 plus freak, and we'll see if you can overcome this obstacle with your vitality draining and super physique stuff.
Freak. I have 1 freak. All right, that gives me a total of 7.
On a total of 7, you can either mark a condition, or I can tell you how the effect is unstable or temporary.
I want it to work, so I'll take the condition. I think I'm angry at this point. At the general situation, I'm angry at, like, the stupid angel hallucination. I'm angry kind of at Todd, like, unreasonably so. He's totally fair to be mad at me. But I'm also, like, I don't feel like it was entirely my fault. So I'm also angry at myself, and I don't know what's going on in there. So it's just, like, a general, like, angst and anger right now at the injustice of the world.
Yeah, and in that regard, Alan, because I know you like doing this, can you tell me what the few panels of Tate breaking apart this watering fountain looks like if he's taking it out in anger?
Yeah, you just see him, like, slam his hand on the watering fountain, like, casing, and the color just drains from it, and his hand just goes right through it.
Yeah. And the water starts shooting out from a broken pipe.
Yeah.
Whatever. And you guys can easily maneuver Todd into the stream of water and to wherever the water's landing so that he can actually breathe some water. Todd, Robbie's like right over you. He's just like holding on to your hands so that you have someone there. And he's just repeatedly saying that he's so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen. Todd, I'm so sorry. Please be okay.
Todd's gonna reach into his pocket, grab his phone, and type out, "Got your back, kid," and hold it up to him.
Yeah, I think he quiets down when he sees that. He nods, and he like moves you a little bit to make sure you're getting the right amount of water, the most direct amount of water. And then he looks up at Tate and he says, "Thank you for helping my friend."
I give a thumbs up.
Todd's just gonna put one more message up for Robbie. "Still think powers are cool, huh?" And just a little smirk.
Yeah, he reads that, but then he like looks away from you a little bit. Like either out of shame or he doesn't know what to say or something.
We're gonna start Googling or future Googling like because I'm sure that there are other people with similar mutations, like legitimately, and they must survive in some way. So I'm sure that there's like a way to get like a fishbowl.
Oh my god.
Todd has to walk around for the rest of the game wearing a fishbowl.
Do it, you won't.
Lean into it.
Suddenly, you're the weird kid, Todd.
Oh, I'm fucking fish boy now.
Yeah, now who's transformed?
I'm not a freaky fish man.
On the plus side, your eyes won't dry out when you use your powers.
Back with the all-star team over with Splice. I think he braces himself once it looks like Seraph's turning on him. I mean, I guess the ball's in your guys' court. Who wants to make a move?
Sucker punch.
Yeah. If it looks like Seraph is going to turn and slug this guy, then I was going to kind of rush him, like I was going to attack him to be like distracting, to like take his focus off of Seraph.
Yeah, it seems Seraph's in the prime position to take lead on this. So Seraph, you want to slug this dude?
Yep.
Directly engage him. Let's go.
All
roll
right.
me 2d6 plus your danger, and then depending on how you roll, maybe your teammates want to throw some team in there and increase that. We'll see.
Hell yeah. Here we go. 8.
So that's a partial hit. It has to go to a 10 to be a full one.
If Sky Valor wants to rush him as well,
Yeah.
Because, I mean, 2 other superheroes rushing him, he's definitely going to lose focus. Then we can provide enough of a distraction to give him +2 to get him up to a 10.
Definitely want to do that.
Yeah, that'll be 2 points out of your 3 points a team if that's cool. But then you can totally turn this into a hit.
Yeah.
Perfect. I think that's great. So, yeah, who wants to paint me that scene? Why don't we start with Seth, and then we'll work into, like, visually how everything plays out. Seth, what happens?
Sure. So, since we do have something of a team maneuver coming up here, I suppose rather than just straight up striking this guy, Seraph will just lift him into the air, like by his rib cage, probably give it a small squeeze with a little crack sound coming from it.
Oh, so you put him kind of like a grapple, a little bit.
But like a grapple only possible with super strength.
Yeah, so I think how that plays out is Seraph lifts him up, and it looks like he's going to try to retaliate. Like, he's going to do something to Seraph, and then in a blink, recharge you.
Grab him by the wrist and kind of move his arm out to the side so he can't move it back to touch any of us.
You grab the one arm, like his dominant arm, and he immediately just, like, reaches out for your arm with his left hand.
Mm-hmm.
Sky Valor, what do you do?
I'll describe this because it's badass.
So I could grab his hand with my one arm because I'm super strong. And if he tries to pull anything else, like, I could just grab, like, I don't know, his torso or wherever else he's trying to, like, squirm out of it or something.
Yeah. Sure. You definitely like snatch his other arm as he's reaching for recharges, or you snatch his other hand as he's reaching for recharge's arm, and I think there's this maybe a little bit of a crunch, a little bit of a twisting as he winces in pain just from being grappled by 3 heroes
who all have enhanced strength.
Right. That's a direct hit, Seth. You get to choose 2 from the directly engage a threat list.
Yeah. I'd actually like to take 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my not human enough ability. I've directly confronted this guy. I'm actively embracing the freak in me. So I'm going to take a condition of my choosing so that I can then resist any condition he would give me. Because I'm pretty sure I just broke this guy's rib.
Sure. What condition are you taking?
I would like to be guilty about this. I feel guilty because I've hurt this guy. I've completely resisted his blows. I'm creating a hell of an opportunity for my allies. And I am frightening the shit out of him. I'm frightening my opposition.
Yeah. And I think from all of that, him being held up and recharged, like standing on that mahogany desk holding his one arm, and Sky Valor flying at his other side and holding his other arm, and he's just held there. And he's forced to look down at this angelic monstrosity. He definitely feels afraid. Like, that forced smirk is gone, and his eyes widen. And for maybe the first time, he realizes, like, the situation he's gotten himself into and the people he's up against. Seth, you have certainly created an opportunity for one of your allies. Which ally would you like to act next?
Well, it just says for your allies. I'm kind of helping out both of them. But I think Sky Valor probably has an extra open hand. And sure. Honestly, I just want to see Danielle get fucking violent here.
Sure. Sky Valor, the ball is in your court. What's the next move? Splice doesn't get to react. The opportunity is yours. He's held up. He's not out of the fight yet, but he is terrified and hurt. What do you want to do?
I'll probably fight the good fight. Kind of my thing.
Yeah, I mean, you can roll that. What are you actually doing to him? Oh, you're just gonna sock him. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
Punch him in the face. What kind of question is that?
That's super legit. Why did I even ask? That was dumb of me. Yeah, sure, roll it. Let's see what happens.
Okay, so Savior +2. 10.
Yeah, that's a hit. You get to choose 2 of the list. I think you can't impress, surprise, or frighten because you're doing the playbook thing.
Yeah.
So, what do you want to do?
Okay. Well, knowing this guy, I probably want to avoid his blows. Just seeing what happened to the last guy that took his blows. And I kind of want to create another opportunity if I can.
So you punch him with a nice thok sound effect, and his head kind of spins. He's not dead. It just gets knocked to the other side, so he's maybe facing recharge. I think that's a great opportunity since he's still being held, and you guys are just fucking up this dude's day for recharge to capitalize and everything. But I think just as his head spins around and he's face to face with recharge, we get the one panel of him bruised jawed, just like his eyes are watering a bit. And then we get the close up of recharge in his helmet. We then cut over to Todd drowning in a little, not drowning, but breathing in a little pool of fountain water. Todd, Tate, and Robbie. The situation has been calmed. Todd, you can breathe the water now. What are you guys doing? You hear fighting from the mayor's office and can maybe see glimpses of it. But what's up with you guys?
I mean, I'll tell Todd, like, I would like to go help, but if you need me here to help you, I'll stay.
He'll type out on his phone, "Go get him, champ."
All right. Then Tate will stand up and sort of, like, center himself, and then he's just gonna run back down the hallway.
Yeah. Tate runs down the hallway, and as Tate leaves that scene, Robbie watches him go and then turns back to Todd and asks Todd, "Who was that guy?"
It'll take a couple seconds as he types out, "Some fucking weirdo I just met who was rambling about angels."
Robbie will nod. And then I think we jump back to see what recharge does to poor Splice.
Yeah, I think I'm going to... I want to talk him down. Like, convince him to give up. I guess provoke him.
I think that's totally reasonable. Provoking sounds like the thing. What do you say to begin, like, talking him down?
I'm probably wrestling with his one arm, and as he gets, like, clocked by Sky Valor, I assume his head snaps around, and, like, well, we would lock eyes, I suppose, but he's, like, staring right at me, and I'm just gonna go,
Just give up.
Let's see if he's willing to listen. So roll 2d6 plus superior.
roll 2d6. Sounds great. 6 and a 3. 9.
Okay, so now I get to choose following things.
Aha.
Oh, what? Yep.
We have 1 point of team left.
You totally do.
I will, at this point, lower this guy down to the floor, still squeezing his rib cage, to be sure he is face to face with recharge.
Okay, that kicks it to a 10. And on a 10, he will do exactly what you want. So, thoroughly intimidated by the monstrosity that is Seraph, and thoroughly outclassed by the trio of Sky Valor, Seraph, and Recharge. Splice, from Sky Valor's punch, he spits out blood, and Recharge, you tell him to stand down, and he he removes his gaze from your helmets, and he looks down towards the ground, and he says, "It's typical. The heroes always win. I'm not gonna fight anymore." And like if he probably was struggling against all of you, you're all stronger than he is, but you feel him. He's no longer giving up a fight. Are you gonna let him go, or is someone gonna still restrain him?
I will release him.
He winces as you do.
And I am muttering under my breath. Sorry about that.
He either doesn't hear or doesn't respond.
I'm gonna pat Seraph on one of his wings, his shoulder area. Just like a friendly, like, clasp on the shoulder.
And as you do, Tate, you enter the mayor's office and you see this scene unfold.
Yeah, I was running to the office, so you probably heard the footsteps, and then I get there and I stop because everything is already taken care of. So I just kind of stand there awkwardly in the doorway.
You're in the background of the panels that follow.
That's it. Doorway. Yeah, that's it. I'm just in the background right now.
Perfect.
I was so ready to just take out this guy and help people, and totally unnecessary.
I do think, at least from Tate's perspective, before we put him in the background of panels, since the wall straight across from the doorway is all windows, and Seraph is pretty much right in front of there. What you do see is that from the light that passes, maybe a cloud parts, his skin does kind of gleam a metallic. I think it was silver, Seth, right?
No, I'm gold.
You're gold? Okay. And I think I also said that the angel from Tate's vision also had kind of a golden gleaming skin in the sunlight.
So he just takes on that same image for a moment.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good
And
panel.
I'm happy. Like, instead of me feeling left out, now I'm kind of like, I'm happy to stay back here right now.
Fair enough. Sky Valor, what are you doing?
So he's not currently being restrained?
You're still holding on to him. I think everyone else let go.
Can I take my other arm and, ask for the security to come up here?
Yeah, so are you buzzing Secretary Hoditz?
I mean, I don't wanna.
I'll tell you what, you go to make a call, and you see that you actually have a missed call from Secretary Hoditz.
Oh. Interesting. Guess I should call back?
Yeah, you give her a call back?
Mm-hmm.
She picks up on, the first ring, and she says, I'm glad you called me back. What are you doing?
What do you mean, what am I doing?
And then you hear, not from her, but in the background on her end of the call, the crowd outside, because she was outside with the mayor when you left, but you hear a crowd just gasp and people start screaming.
Oh my god, what is that?
And she says, oh no. And the line cuts.
Hero's work is never done.
What?
Oh, I just kind of assumed that was speaker.
Alex is in Discord chat just going, I want to play. Someone haven't fixed my guilds.
I can't even talk anymore.
Recharge, Seraph, can you handle him, without my help? I'm sure you can, right?
Question. I'm standing by the window, right?
Yeah.
I'm covered in eyeballs. What's going on out there?
Perfect. Cool. Before I answer that question, I'm going to run to the bathroom. Fuck you guys.
Oh, you bitch.
Oh.
Oof. But that was a smart idea. That was a really good idea.
Looking out the window?
Yeah.
Oh, Danielle.
Well, I didn't think about where anybody was positioned. I don't know.
So far, I've really liked the that last panel that got described when...
Kicking the shit out of somebody?
No, yeah, that was awesome. I was talking about when Tate came in and saw the same scene from earlier. I thought that was cool. The teamwork scene was great. Whoa.
Did you just drop your mic again, Danielle?
Yeah, it fell.
Did you drop it or throw it? Good lord.
Drop the mic.
Drop the mic.
Who is spiking the mics that I bought all of you onto the grounds?
Danielle just spiked hers and said, fuck this game, I quit.
That's okay. I understand.
Yeah.
It's not that good. It's no mage. I get you. It's okay.
Stop toying with them like that, Chris.
Don't fuck with my emotions.
Hello, everyone. It's Mr. Critically Accursed popping in at the end of the issue to say yet another thank you for listening. This has been an exciting issue because for the first time, our entire team got together. So it's not just all of us sitting at a table playing 3 separate games. It's the whole group joining forces to conquer adversaries and to solve very gilly problems. I feel bad for Alex since he had to sit out for a large part of this one, editing the content. I quickly realized how quiet he was being. So, Alex, I know you're listening to this. Here's a formal apology for doing something to you that took you effectively out of the game for a quantity of this session. You live and you learn, I guess. So, as always, information on how to contact people involved in a Critically Accursed podcast can be found in the issue information wherever you're listening to this. Just like scroll down a little bit and do some reading. I know it's tough, but you can do it. And we'd love to hear from you. Shoot us an email, reach out to us on Twitter, comment on the issue wherever you're listening to it. Just spread the love. Tell a friend, I guess, if you think they would find us entertaining, which is unlikely, but weirder things have happened. We will see you in issue 15, which should be the last issue of Volume 1 of our Horizon story. I'm pretty excited. It feels like a big accomplishment. So I look forward to having you there for the end of this first chapter. Catch you next time.
Superhero.